Rather than lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be talking about Jorginho. We're going to be talking about Manchester City and the potential result that Arsenal could actually have a free run at the Premier League if Manchester City's points are deducted this campaign. I want you to get in the comment section. We have two topics to talk about in this video. Number one is Jorginho. Is he a decoy to Thomas Partey? Is he a bad signing? Like many people have said, he did come on in the Everton game. 8 seconds in, we conceded. And after that, he had one of the worst debuts I've ever seen in an Arsenal jersey. Great player, in my opinion. I love him. I love Jorginho. I think he's a very, very great guy in midfield. But that was one of the worst debuts you can ever have in an Arsenal shirt, especially if you're coming from a London rival club. That was so bad. And then Manchester City's situation. What are we saying about it? Let me know in the comment section. Do you think Arsenal should be given these 3 points? Like, should we be given that, that free run? Manchester City have like 10 points deducted or 15 points deducted, like what happened to Juventus this campaign? Or you feel, inside you feel Manchester City should not actually be deducted points, and then we win the title legitimately? I think there are two angles to this. And look, if you get to the comment section, think before you write, because it's two-way. If they get points deducted, then our title charge loses legitimacy, in my opinion. But if they don't get deducted and we win the title fair and square, then there's a lot of legitimacy to our title race. So let me know in the comment section. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's get this video to 300 likes. Now let's start off with Jorginho. New signing, brilliant signing for me, in my opinion, by Edu and Mikel Arteta, especially at a time where you had only 24 hours to react to the news that that Brighton had refused to accept Arsenal's third bid for Brighton's Moises Caicedo. And that is where I thought Mikel Arteta reacted very well and Edu reacted very well. It's a position that we cannot afford to go, we couldn't afford to go out of January without getting a player there. We tried a couple of options, and this is where I think Arteta is not to blame and Edu is not to blame. They're out of this. They're totally out of this. Maybe they will take some, share of the blame later. I'll talk about it. But on deadline day, you don't get a better player than Jorginho. On deadline day, you don't get experience for 12 million euros, a player who plays exactly as Rodri, Busquets, and Thomas Partey, a player who has, done it for Chelsea in the Premier League, done it in the Italian League, and also a winner with Italy in the Euros. This guy, we're talking about a player who has been shortlisted as one of the players previously to win the Ballon d'Or. That is what we're talking about when we talk about Jorginho, right? So, when all the other options actually didn't happen, Martin Zubimendi at Real Sociedad, who I thought would have been a very great signing, decided to stay in Spain and said he will be moving to the Premier League maybe sometime later, but not now, not in January. Then Edu said, look, we'll try to sign Moises Caicedo. We'll try to throw everything we have to Moises Caicedo, to the Moises Caicedo deal. 60 million initial bid rejected. 70 million, 7 million second bid rejected. There were rumors of a third bid up to 80 million pounds, 10 million euros, 10 million pounds in add-ons and 70 in guaranteed payments, with with a big chunk of the money to be paid up front. However, Brighton still rejected, and they said, we are not selling Moises Caicedo this January. If any sales are going to happen, it will happen in the summer. So where did Arsenal then have to go? We needed to go to a very easy deal because it was only 24 hours, and Jorginho was the best deal. Chelsea, after signing all these midfielders, all these players, they needed some bit of money back. And of course, they're going to clear their squad. They're going to start clearing their squad. They're going to start cleaning the squad. And the cleansing of the squad started in January. So the fact that they signed Enzo Fernandez, or the fact that they were very, very close to, signing Enzo Fernandez, and they were still optimistic that they could get the deal off the line. They also have N'Golo Kante in there. It meant that Arsenal could go, walk in there, convince Jorginho, and talk to Chelsea and tell them, look, we need a defensive midfielder, and we know you've spent around 300 million. If you want some, money back in your pocket, we could take Jorginho for 12 million euros or 12 million pounds. And then Chelsea have gone, okay, that's a good deal. That's a good deal for both of us. You take Jorginho, and then we can also get, Enzo Fernandez by the time the window closes. So goodbye in that situation. Goodbye in that situation. But however, I have a problem with Jorginho, and I have a problem with Arsenal signing a player as important as a Thomas Partey backup late in the transfer window. And this is my problem. In December, we were linked with Danilo, and we were the only club seriously trying to purchase Danilo from Palmeiras, and we exactly knew the numbers. We exactly knew what it would take to sign Danilo. It was only 20 million euros, right? I'm still not getting it how we've signed Jakub Kivior for 25 million euros. We've signed Trossard for 27 million euros, and we do not have a spare 20 million euros to sign Danilo. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a player that we tried to sign in the summer, and the deal didn't happen because Palmeiras decided we are in the title race. We are still in the title race. We are not selling our player right now. Maybe come back after the league has ended in January. We will try to sell to you. We'll listen to your offers. And it was as simple as that. And in December, Arsenal did talk to the representatives of the player. Fabrizio Romano did confirm that we were heavily interested in the guy. What happened? Why did he end up at Nottingham Forest? How did we end up letting one of the best Brazilian defensive midfielders go to a club like Nottingham Forest? With all due respect, we shouldn't be losing players to Nottingham Forest. We shouldn't be losing players to Brighton, Wolves, Southampton, Aston Villa. If we want a player, we must be in position to sign them. That is financially, or even in terms of attracting them. Because Mikel has always talked about it. We want to be attractive to players we want. And for me, being on top of the table, it doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get really, really better than that. So Jorginho comes in, and first game, I think Thomas Partey was injured. I don't know whether it was kind of a tactical tweak, but what I'm hearing is that Thomas Partey is playing with an injury right from the Manchester City game. Okay, that's why Albert Samuel Lokonga was introduced in the FA Cup game against Manchester City. Did very, very poorly. We lost the game, and Jorginho was introduced in the Everton game. Again, performed very, very poorly, and we lost the game. Now, this is what I want to. This is what I want us to look at these two players, Partey and Jorginho. First and foremost, they're both of their assets or strongest attributes in terms of possession and passes. Per 90, Jorginho is averaging 71.99 passes, and Thomas Partey is averaging 65.61 passes per 90. That means Jorginho is passing the ball more, is getting involved more, and is attempting more passes than Thomas Partey. So that's a little bit understandable if the passing accuracy for Jorginho is slightly lower than that of Thomas Partey, because Partey is attempting fewer passes than that of Jorginho per 90. Pass completion for Jorginho is 88.2. And pass completion for Partey actually is 85.9. So it's not all that a bad signing. It's not all that a bad backup for Thomas Partey. You can look at his pass completion at 88, and Partey is actually at 85. And we are talking about a Thomas Partey who's playing in this Arsenal side that is surrounded by players who are comfortable on the ball. Saka is comfortable to receive the ball. Martinelli is comfortable to receive the ball. Odegaard as well. Xhaka as well. Saliba, White, Gabriel Magalhaes, and even our goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale, is comfortable to receive the ball. So if Partey is having a lower pass, completion as compared to Jorginho, who has played in turmoil, to be honest, in this Chelsea side, I think if Jorginho's played in a better side than Chelsea, many Arsenal fans would actually want him. But this is what is interesting here, right? In terms of tackles, completed per 90, Thomas Partey is completing 2.4 tackles per 90. And in terms of tackles, completed per 90, that is for Jorginho, 2.88. All right. In terms of interceptions, still, Jorginho is better at 1.6 interceptions per 90. And Thomas Partey, in terms of interceptions, 1.1. So it looks like Jorginho is not that bad of a player statistically. It's not that kind of a player that everybody would say, look, Cossy, we brought in the worst signing. But is he going to fill the boots of Thomas Partey? I think there is a question there, and Mikel Arteta knows best with that. But that debut has to change. That debut performance, those blind passes. I mean, you cannot come in a game where we are playing a physical side like Everton. If you're playing a physical side, they're not going to allow you get out. They're not. And deflated their expenditure. I hope this actually makes sense. So the Premier League rule states that you can only spend what you earn. However, you can spend more. You can spend 30 million pounds more annually than what you're earning. So, for instance, if Arsenal make 70 million this year in 2023, we can actually spend 100 million. We are allowed to lose 30 million, right? In terms of losses, we can make 30 million in terms of losses, and those losses could be covered by our owners giving us some money, loans, like the Cronkies have actually been doing, but not hundreds of millions. So we are finding ourselves in a situation where Manchester City rose from 200 million pounds revenue per year to billions. They almost, grew their revenue 100 times faster. And everyone is asking if Manchester United, the club with the biggest fan base in the world, if Real Madrid, the club with, the most successful club in the world, is not getting those amount of figures. How about Manchester City with a fan base of less than 100 people? How are they doing that? So the Premier League are coming in, and some of the potential sanctions include points deduction. Now, we are not sure, and I'm going to say this, we are not yet sure if the point deduction could actually happen this season. It could happen next season. But it's one of the potential penalties they could be facing. And this is where my question comes from. Would you love Arsenal to win the Premier League fair and square, with Manchester City having full points, not deducted, or you do not care? You're like, as long as we win it, because this is what is happening to Napoli, and Napoli fans, don't get to me. I love you. I love the club. I love the work you've done with the likes of Victor Osimhen, Vicha Varasheria, and Politano and all those guys. I love Napoli. It's the true definition of a well-run club, right? But Napoli have had a Juventus, because Juventus know what winning the league means. Juventus understand the psychology of winning the Scudetto. So Juventus have had 15 points deducted of their maybe title charge. I don't know if they were even trying to win the title, and that means that whatever happens between now and the end of the season, Juventus cannot win the league unless they go on an unbeaten run, which is not happening any soon this campaign. They are shit. They're absolutely shit. But this is my take on this. I want Manchester City to have full points until the end of the season, and when Arsenal win the title, no one is complaining. I want us to win this title. If we win it, I don't care if we don't win it, fair and square, it's okay. But if we win it, it should be fair and square. If we win it, it should be that Arsenal have beaten Manchester City, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Brentford, Brighton, and all the other 20 or 19 Premier League teams to the title in the 2022-2023 edition. How many months are we left with? It is March, April, and May. 3 months. Don't deduct their points. I mean, you could deduct them starting this campaign. You say Manchester City will start with 50 points less. It's okay. It's absolutely right. I mean, it's absolutely right. With 50 points, with 15 points less. Okay? I understand. But in my opinion, this season, it will reduce the legitimacy of our title charge. Everyone will go, oh, look at Arsenal. They've been given the title. Oh, look at Arsenal. They've actually they've had it very, very easy. And if you're going to give Arsenal this title by reducing points for Manchester City, it means you have to give Liverpool their 2 titles that